Why Kyrie Irving in Dallas just won't work. Recently, the Brooklyn Nets traded away Kyrie Irving to the Dallas Mavericks in a blockbuster deal. This was a deal that not many people were expecting, and it is seen as a pretty nice upgrade for the Dallas Mavericks. But although there is currently a ton of excitement around the Mavs, there is still a bunch of different downsides that come alongside with Kyrie Irving. But quickly before we get the video started, for those of you who may not know, I'm JuicySports. I make opinionated NBA content, and if you guys enjoy videos similar to this, hit that subscribe button, that like button, and that post notification bell. I also want to quickly mention that I recently started up an MMA channel, and if you guys are interested in that, the link will be in the description. But anyways, let's get into it. Kyrie Irving has been one of, if not the most talented players in the NBA for some time now. Offensively, he's just elite. He has a great ability to literally do everything on the offensive side of the court, and he does it at a very efficient rate as well. It's pretty clear when you look at the individual skills that Kyrie has, he's just off the charts. And when you look at his production over the years, it is pretty clear that he's very, very productive. But although Kyrie has been extremely talented over the years, there are some downfalls that go alongside with him. And one of those downfalls are the fact that he wasn't able to stay with a specific team. Now, with the Cleveland Cavaliers, he was drafted to them, he stayed with them for a decent amount of time, but in the end, he ended up deciding to leave Cleveland and he moved on to the Boston Celtics. Now, with the Celtics, he only stayed there for a season, and although he said he would re-sign with them, he ended up leaving for the Brooklyn Nets, and with the Brooklyn Nets, he ended up staying with them for a couple seasons, and now he decided to leave once again. And he's currently with the Dallas Mavericks after just getting traded to them, so that's certainly something to look at for Dallas Mavericks fans. But that detail is more so minute, and the reason why I'm making this video isn't necessarily due to that, but it's more so due to on-the-court issues. So now, the question is, what are some of those on-court issues that would lead me to believe that Kyrie just won't fit all that well with the Dallas Mavericks? So when you look at the Dallas Mavericks and you look at their best player in Luka Doncic, it's pretty clear that Luka is extremely talented and he makes everybody around him better. But although that is true, there is something about Luka that is unique to him in comparison to a lot of other guys. It's a fact that he has one of, if not the highest usage rates in the NBA. And what that means is the ball is in Luka's hands basically 99% of the time when he's out there on the court. He's not a guy at all that has the ability to play off ball. He needs to have the ball in his hands to be effective. And that's fine when you're a player who's as good as Luka Doncic is, clearly one of the best players in the NBA, but when you add another superstar in Kyrie Irving to the roster, some issues could persist. Now, unlike Luka, Kyrie Irving certainly has the ability to play off ball. He did it actually a decent amount in Brooklyn. But while Kyrie certainly has the ability to spread the ball out and hit those catch and shoot three-point jump shots, he isn't a player that's solely going to do that. He's obviously going to be a guy who needs the ball in his hands a decent amount of time as well. And if the Mavs run their offense like they have been, just through Luka Doncic and have the ball in his hands all of the time, Kyrie could still be effective, but he won't be nearly as effective as he was in the past. What Kyrie does so well is drive all the way to the basket, finish around players with crafty layups, and overall just run that pick and roll or pick and pop offense. But if you eliminate that aspect to his game, Kyrie just becomes a lot more normal. He becomes a guy who's not nearly as effective as he is now and not nearly as effective as he ever was in the past. You're taking a major ability away from Kyrie Irving. Now with the Mavs, obviously there's going to be some times where Kyrie has the ball in his hands and he's able to work and cook. Of course that's going to happen, but I just don't think it's going to happen all that often, especially when Luka's out there on the court. And I think due to that, that's going to be a huge negative for Kyrie and also the Dallas Mavericks as well, because Kyrie wouldn't be as effective as he normally is. And if you decide to go the other way and make sure Kyrie gets his opportunities, then you're taking opportunities away from Luka, and Luka just wouldn't be nearly as effective as he normally is if he's playing off ball. Now, a potential solution for this is you can mismatch their minutes, Kyrie and Luka's minutes. And of course, that's something that they should do, and they most likely will do, but at the end of the day, when it comes down to clutch time, obviously you need to have both of these guys out there on the court. And if one of them is going to be forced to play off ball, most likely Kyrie, they're just not going to be nearly as effective. So I certainly think this is a negative for the addition of Kyrie Irving to the Mavericks. Now, another potential reason for why I don't think Kyrie Irving is going to work in Dallas is due to chemistry. Now, over the years with the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Boston Celtics, and more recently the Brooklyn Nets, they all had chemistry issues, and the one constant was Kyrie Irving. Now, many teammates say Kyrie was a great teammate, and I'm sure in certain aspects he was, but at the end of the day, there is a lot of evidence to to go against that theory. And although Kyrie may have been a really good teammate at times, there have also been other things that he has done that really haven't been great teammate. In Boston, there was a bunch of reports that came out saying that a lot of players on the Celtics didn't necessarily think Kyrie was a great teammate and he wasn't necessarily working out with the team all that much, and eventually it turned into chemistry issues that affected their play on the court. Now also with the Brooklyn Nets, this is the most obvious thing, where James Harden got frustrated with Kyrie Irving, and now more recently with the Brooklyn Nets, this one was a lot more obvious, as James Harden got upset with Kyrie Irving when he was still on the team and then he ended up leaving. Then more recently, Kevin Durant requested a trade. Maybe it wasn't necessarily due to Kyrie Irving solely, but it certainly does raise some questions and concerns. Kyrie then requested his own trade multiple times, and eventually he did end up getting traded. Now these chemistry issues aren't necessarily something that I can 100% prove, but over the years when you look at his track record, it certainly doesn't look good. And that certainly should be somewhat of a concern for the Dallas Mavericks going forward. Because if he eventually sours the chemistry in Dallas and it eventually turns into Luka Doncic wanting out, that would literally be the worst case scenario for the Mavericks. Now this isn't necessarily something that I think is likely. I don't think it's going to happen at all, but it's just something to think about in the back of your mind. Now, at the end of the day, all these issues that I said in this video could be true, but it doesn't necessarily mean that Kyrie won't fit in Dallas. There's a possibility that him and Luka play very well together and they just turn into a high-power elite offense. That certainly is a possibility, especially when you have two guys who are extremely talented offensively. I just think there are some downside risks and some concerns that I am thinking about. And at this point, my prediction is I don't think Kyrie Irving is going to work out all that well in Dallas at the end of the day. But now the question is, what do I mean by Kyrie won't fit in Dallas? Now I do think the Mavericks are going to have some success here and there, but overall what I mean by when I say I don't think Kyrie is going to fit in well in Dallas is at the end of the day, I don't think they're going to be able to win a championship with these two guys, and I don't think they're going to go all that far in the playoffs either. Maybe they can get past the first round, maybe they can even get past the second round, but it's hard for me to see them getting any further than that. And if the Mavs are bringing in a player like Kyrie Irving and they're not able to get all that far and especially not win an NBA championship, I just see that as a failure. But one thing that I will say is I am extremely excited to see what a team led by Luka Doncic alongside with Kyrie Irving can do. Because obviously there's a ton of star power on the Mavs instantly. Luka's getting a lot of help in Kyrie Irving, but I just don't think the fit works out that well. But it's going to be interesting and exciting to watch this team going forward. But even besides this trade, there was a bunch of other trades that went down during the trade deadline, and a lot of other teams, particularly in the Western Conference, got significantly better. So it's really going to be interesting to see how the Mavericks, the new look Mavericks I should say, fare up against a lot of other teams. But the first and main factor that's going to determine how well the Mavericks end up doing this season is going to come down to chemistry. If they have good chemistry, I think they could be a pretty good team. If they don't have good chemistry, things are really going to go south for them quickly. But I guess only time will tell what does end up happening for the Dallas Mavericks. But anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think Kyrie Irving could fit in well with the Dallas Mavericks, or do you not think so? But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did enjoy, check one of these two videos popping up now, and until the next time, peace out guys.